Greetings, programs. This is Young Napoleon, and I want to welcome you to episode 20 of my inaugural Let's Play series Redux Part 3. We're doing a Texas run through Victoria 2 with no mods and all of the DLC, and I want to remind you, in case you missed yesterday's episode, this is day 2 of Noob Week. I lost all of my commentary for this week's episode, so I am commentating on them post-recording. We'll see how well we do. It looks like we're starting off. I remember at the end of last episode, we ended it with promises of working on that national decision, and I completely forgot about that, apparently. So I'm checking out my war justification, apparently, and it looks like it just ticked off. So I'm good to go. I think I should be able to declare war at any time now. And I can see they've got a truce, but there's no one. They're not protected by anybody. They're not allied with anybody. And I don't believe they're in anybody's sphere. So, keep that in mind, because things are about to get spicy. Have I declared the war yet? No, I haven't. I don't know why I have not. I believe the justification is complete. I'm here looking at... Oh, I think I'm waiting for... That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for their organization to come back up. I must have just recently increased the budget. And I'm waiting for them. There's Germany. I think I'm about to be a little bit afraid that Germany is going to beat me to the punch. But I can see that they're still at a truce. They still have a truce. They're not at truce. I can English, y'all. Alright, still waiting on my... I wonder if I had moved any faster, if things might have gone differently. But yeah, I'm still waiting on Colonial Incident. The UK. I think this is where I definitely decide I do not want to sour things with the UK. And I'm definitely glad in hindsight that I did not opt to go this route. Because it was indeed not worth going to war over, truth be told. But it's going to take me a minute to come to that decision, so let's enjoy the wonderful artwork and the music with the game. I'm not exactly... I don't think I'm looking for the jingoism here, because the Socialist Party is not jingoist, but it's definitely... And I'm not too thrilled with the militancy, but I don't want to sour relations with the UK, so... I end up taking the lesser of two evils there, and we are paused, evidently. I probably think I'm waiting on the organization to tick up, and I do not realize that it's still paused. I don't know what I'm wiggling my mouse over here right now. Looking at something in the mainland now. And looking at Argentina. Still no idea what's going on. Checking for any movements that I need to be concerned about. Okay, I do see the 40.1% there on the Texas Anarcho-Liberals. I'm not sure, since I'm not in game right now, I can't exactly mouse over that to see what it does or what it signifies, but that probably should have been my warning for things to come. In the meanwhile, we're finally looking at that National Banking Act again. And I think I've looked at it in a previous game. I'm not sure. Or no, maybe that was the Geneva Convention. I think this is my first time to consider the National Banking Act. But I think I'm going to go ahead and select it if I don't get distracted by union busting. I don't want the socialists to lose consciousness, I remember thinking, because I want them to vote so that they'll put socialists in charge and I can take more control over my economy. So I'm not thrilled with the militancy in East Hausana land, but I think here I am looking to see what kind of rich strata I have. I know there's no capitalists here, but it looks like there are a few. There's a handful of aristocrats, 2%. So I'm not terribly concerned with the aristocrats getting too spicy, all things considered. So I take that option, and here we are back to the National Banking Act. I don't actually have a reason for taking this. I just feel like... oh, and I'm getting distracted here by the women's suffrage, which I do not have the all of the necessary criteria to select, I believe. I think there's, if I recall, let's see. Yeah, I don't have any of the techs. I don't have socialists or liberals in the upper house. And it looks like I'm missing the average consciousness too. So back to the National Banking Act. Again, I don't really have a reason for taking that other than it feels like a quote unquote big boy act. It just feels like it's making me part of the world at large, like a real boy, a real country sort of a thing. So I end up going with that. Apparently, I want to know when the military-industrial complex is available to me, but I'm not interested. Or I am. I do check the box to let me know when I can leave the U.S.'s sphere, which that's a little bit of foreshadowing. Aha. So yeah, we'll see. I'm exploring the other stuff. I think getting a feel for what the sea power and the merchant marine does. I think I came to the conclusion that that just basically swapped your land focus to sea focus. And I'm not entirely sure what the corporate industrialism does. Oh, I think you get better corporate and industry tech research at the cost of Army and Navy tech research. So I think I opt to avoid being notified of that, or I decline to be notified of that. Looking at my army some more, I see I can't build anyone else in Hassaland. I think I'm trying to figure out, did I build engineers somewhere? I think not in this army. Maybe I do that in a later episode. I hear engineers are good for something. I don't know what, but I hear they're good for something. It's 1883. Maybe it's about time to be building them. I don't know. So it looks like my organization is pretty much as good as it's it's reasonably well, especially compared to Sokoto's. So I'm going to go ahead and looks like demand or declare this war before I lose the ability to declare it. And they're still not protected or allied with anyone. So I think the initial part here with Sokoto is going to go reasonably well, all things considered. Yeah, oh, and let's see, can you see? It looks like my artillery is taking place, so that's good. We're outflanking them with the cavalry. This is kind of cool. I never think to actually look at that during the actual episode. Do you see? Yeah, initial 3,000 artillery there on my side. Okay. So my artillery is taking place in that battle. I don't know why. I think I get into a battle later where it doesn't. And here I am trying to follow the Sokoto military to see if I can't stack wipe it. I'm realizing I have a unit of Mazatlan infantry that's not going to reinforce just because they don't have enough soldier pops. I win again. Looks like I stack wiped. So now I am free, or so I think, to have my way with the country. So we'll start. We move down to start sieging down the war goal, to start getting that, to get that ticking up so that we can add an additional territory to the goals, more dissipating tensions. And let's see, so far it looks like everything's going rather smoothly, right? We just have Sokoto flags and US flags in the little notification window down in the lower right above the map. So nothing to give me any sort of indication that something untoward is about to happen, but you see them, there they come. The French army, out of nowhere, for some reason. Oh, there's the little French. I wonder if that just means I'm getting attacked. I don't think to look at it. But yeah, here I am trying to figure out why in the world France is in this war. I still cannot come up with a viable reason for why France involved themselves in this war. They're not allied. They're not protecting them. You can see over in the little list of countries at the bottom left of that window that they're not sphered by France. So I have no idea why France got involved here. They just decided to stick their nose into this business. Rather frustratingly, because while I I am proud of the fact that I do manage to hold my own here. I've got my general looks like is helping me out there on the defense, and I'm getting some good dice rolls. Looks like my artillery is taking part in the battle, so that probably helped a lot, I'm going to guess. And I did start with, what's the initial? Oh, we were about evenly matched. He had a little more infantry than I started out with, but I had the artillery in there. So that might have been what made the difference here. I don't know. I don't know how all the mathematics of that work, but I'm still flabbergasted at this point. Although I'm also a little optimistic that I was able to hold off a French army, and I'm starting to think, well, maybe I'll be able to do something here. So the French go running off, and I'm like, well, all right, that's fine, I guess. And there we have French up in the north, and there's some French over on the west. They're about to start sieging down the territories that I do own, and at this point I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. I won another battle somehow. Maybe I'm not sure how this happened. Lacosia? Oh, that's what it was. Sokoto must have built an army, and it popped up right where I was sieging them down, so... I'm waiting for this territory to finish being sieged down before I move them to take over that other small unit there. But this is, we're about to see the end of my small little Texas army. Looks like my artillery is taking place, but yeah, these guys just completely overwhelm me here. These French forces, I don't know where... That was extremely disappointing and very frustrating to experience this, because there was nothing. The game gave me no indication that they were going to join the war, or if they did, nothing that I could see. So at this point, I'm a little dispirited, and I think this is when I remember, oh yeah, I've got an ally. Maybe I can get them involved. You see, now it says they're protected by, but that wasn't there. You all saw that earlier. I made sure to point that out. They were not protected by France when I declared war. So that's weird. So anyways, I'm trying to figure out now how to see if I can't bring the US into this mix. And I don't realize I'm looking at the wrong nation right here. I'm like, why can't I call my ally? And then I realize, oh yeah, I'm not on the US. So I come over here and I look at this. Let's see, does it tell me they will not accept? It tells me they will not accept, but I don't read that. I just assume they will. So I proceed thinking, okay, this will be interesting now. We're going to have a full-fledged war, and then, nope. The USA has refused to join us in our just and noble war. Can you imagine the audacity? Yeah, me either. So this is where the game definitely takes a little bit of a turn. Instead of being able to expand my territorial ambitions here, I basically, and here I am trying to figure out why in the world they rejected me and see if there's any sort of other underlying issues. And here I am now trying to figure out if I can leave the sphere, because I'm a little salty here. I'm sorry you don't get to witness my initial reaction. But yeah, at this point I'm like, all right, forget taking any lands. At this point, the objective of the game has now become to leave the US's influence. So I'm looking now for a new ally, trying to see if I can't find someone else who will, with a better army than France, preferably, that will form an alliance with me and come to my rescue. I'm not having any luck. I don't think, looking at these, they've all got better armies than France by and large, except for Austria. No, even Austria has a better army, it looks like. But yeah, but none of them liked me well enough to enter an alliance, it looked like. I think they were all in the negatives, if I recall. Oh, Germany is, yeah, the little number in the upper right isn't too bad, but I think when I start looking at them later, there are enough other factors that none of them are interested in forming an alliance. So, and I think part of the reason for that may have been that one of the little modifiers was a negative for too many alliances, and I couldn't tell if that was. And so here I am trying to increase relations. I start with the UK, and then I think I move to Germany, and eventually I decide to maybe even just. Well, no, I definitely don't go with France. I can't decide which one I ended up focusing the most on. I think I'm trying to get the UK to sphere me, if nothing else, to just get me out of the US sphere is the goal. Because yeah, I realize this war is going to go poorly. So at this point, I'm just waiting for an opportunity to white peace out. And I think, yeah, I know I definitely won't be able to get that, but there we go. I check over to the peace terms, and they will accept it. So yeah, um, they know they've got this in the bag. I don't know if it's because they wiped my army out or whatever, but yeah, it was easy enough to white peace out of that. And so my objective at this point becomes busting out of the US sphere. I'm looking at the various movements now because it looks like I have enough in the upper house to make another reform decision. Now you'll notice, remember I saw that 40% on the anarcho-liberals earlier? It's down to 1.7, so I may have some rebels going on and I just don't know about it yet. I don't know. We'll see where that ends up going. I can't remember when I realized I've got the rebellion there, but yeah, the most in-demand movement was for the trinket minimum wage, so I ended up going there. Here I am trying to decide on the technology, and I think this is still the hardest part for me, is I just don't know what areas need the most improvement. So I think I'm kind of just trying to go with the lowest hanging fruit right now, what's going to get me the quickest. And especially if I think I'm going to start getting involved with major wars, I'm assuming I need to improve my artillery. But yeah, so now we're looking for just trying to figure out who wants to be my friend, and sadly nobody wants to be my friend right now. Just kind of going through my options. Still working on the UK, although France got bumped up in the great power status, I think from winning that war with me. Probably gave them enough prestige to jump up a little bit, and so I didn't lose enough prestige to drop me out of the secondaries, which is good, but I don't think that's going to last for very long. I can't remember which episode it is that I look up and notice I'm down to like 18 or so. So yeah, won't be too much longer before I lose the ability to even colonize, which is kind of a moot point now since the scramble's already happened and everybody's got all their territory. I think at this point in the game, I think really the only, I don't know, like I'm fond of saying, this is new territory to me. Who am I increasing? Still the UK? Okay. Like I keep saying, this is all new territory to me. So I'm kind of just at this point going through to experience it, just so I get a feel for what's coming, so that my next run through, I kind of know a little bit more about what to expect. Like for instance, I know that the Scramble of Africa happens prior to 1880, maybe even somewhere in the 1870s. I could probably go do a little bit of research and figure out when that is. I'm looking at this pop up, and again, I just don't know. I see a lot of other people that play these games. They know immediately which one they want to go for, and so I'm still kind of getting a feel for things here. It looks like I end up going with the consciousness for, I don't know, I missed which strata that was. It was one of those strata, but none of the options seemed very appealing, so I went with the one that seemed to be the least unappealing. So, but yeah, just kind of, I'm a little salty here, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do now. I know I can't build any troops, at least I don't think I can build any troops in Africa, or there's any point to it, but I start to realize I do have options in North America and South America. So this is where I start getting it in my head that I'm going to build up an army over in Texas and not exactly secede, but I'm definitely going to try and leave the U.S. sphere. I suspect both then and now that when I do so, they're going to come a calling. I got a sneaky suspicion that's going to give them a nice fat casus belli. So, and that's why I'm trying to improve relations, is so I can get someone to come help me out when things go south. I'm trying to build a balanced army here. I don't want all infantry. I can see right now that my combat width is 25. I don't think I realized that yet in game, but yeah, I think I need to get a sizable army if I'm going to deal with the US's Doomstacks. And that's, you can see I can support 12 military units, so that's definitely not 25. So anything that I can build, I feel like the US is probably not going to have a hard time. Although it just now occurs to me, I can probably mobilize a few units as well to increase my combat width. I might be able to hold them off at least long enough for some other great power to intervene and maybe try and help out. So we'll see. And if I do get another great power, then maybe I can... although I think in another episode, someone researches a technology that that means all wars fought between two or more great powers becomes a great war. But yeah, at any rate, I think this is the point in the game where I decide I'm going to call it for the day, so I'm going to do the same now. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It's definitely an interesting experience going back and commentating on it after the fact. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to do all that YouTube stuff. I would take it as a kindness. And always remember, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. Even on these post-episode commentaries, you do get the platitudes. So I'll see you next time, guys.